Now this is what we have. The next stage is going to be, so this is going to be our high resolution mesh from which we're going to be projecting the detail to our low resolution mesh. And let's go about, let's see about exporting or doing a poly reduce. There is one small thing that we should take care of. If you notice, the size of this is quite big, and some of the settings, the default settings for the baking maps, are more adapted or more prepared for smaller objects. So we'll reduce this, we'll shrink it quite a bit, so we can work at a different scale, and then when we're done, we'll just put it back. So we can apply a transform here. I'll call this shrink, and this is going to be like 100 times smaller, maybe even less. Yeah, we'll go with this. Remember, this is something that we're going to be reversing at the end. So if you want, you can just right click, go to actions, create a reference copy. And on this reference copy, this is what we're going to be connecting afterwards. And on this reference copy, the only thing we're going to disconnect is this, the invert transformation, using Control Shift and clicking on it. And then we turn this on, and we'll see that we're back at what we were at the original size. Okay, after the clean and after shrinking, and I'll call this reverse shrink. But this is something that's going to be at the end. For now, we just want the shrinking. Let's go have a look at this, and this is going to be what we're going to be poly reducing. Let's create a poly reduce node. It's going over it's analyzing the geometry. Here we still have a lot of information, and most of the attributes we actually don't need. And that's something we can clean up right from the start. As soon as we convert to height field, we can think, what do I actually need from all of this? Okay, we have bedrock, debris. These are carried over to points. In case you're interested in them, or in case you're not interested in them, then it makes total sense for us to actually delete these detail attributes and the point attributes as well. So we can just do a attribute delete. Let's take care of everything except for the UVs. Okay, so now we have position, UVs. We do have, yeah, I think that's it. Clip low, clean. And we can also add some normals for the shrinking, and then shrink it. So now you have some nice normals, nice geometry, a lot of detail. And we'll convert this into a poly reduced version around, let's say 10%, see how much this gives us. Okay, at 10%, we're still, it's not a bad number. 80,000 isn't that much. If you look at the density of the geometry, it's viable. If you want it to be even lower, if you're thinking of using this as a skybox asset to be really far away from the player, from the landscape, then you might go, you can probably go lower than this. 5% should be okay as well, maybe even 2%, as long as we keep the overall shape. Let's add new normals. Let's make it even softer. I think something that might help as well is it's better to have this smoother now and have just let the normal map do its thing. So it might not be a bad idea to smooth this out. Okay, let's go low strength, maybe 1 is enough. So without the smooth, we get some problems with edges, and this kind of helps us clean things up. And this will be reversing the shrink, and this is what's going to be exporting. So it's going to be a low res version at proper scale, and this is going to be, let's say this is our low. Let's create a null here, out low, and that's going to be our high, out high and out low, and then we reverse shrink. We're just going to be referencing this two for the baking. What else? And I think we're good to go.